So you're looking for a home care provider
Mm.
in the Kent area. What should someone be looking out for?
Really, relationships are key. So the person that's going to be coming and supporting you needs to be set up to build a trusted relationship with you, and in a consistent way. So, that you feel you can rely on them. That's part of building the trust. And relationship means so many things, doesn't it? It means a sense of commonality in loads of different areas. Like, do you feel like your culture, like your communication styles, like your energy levels, and best of all, if you can get to the sort of creme de la creme, is even your passions and your interests are in common. Because if you feel like right through the from the get go, the person walks through the door and you've got, you've both read that same newspaper article, or you've both listened to that same piece of music, or even if you sort of hate it, but it's the music aspect of it that you love, then there's that instant spark and connectivity that really makes a difference. And so you're looking for a company, therefore, an organization that has that at its heart, really. So you're not looking for sort of tick boxing, and you're not looking for someone who considers care to be very sort of transactional and perfunctory about, just having a wash, or just, getting the meds down you. You're looking at someone who understands that those are parts of the role, but they're part of what is a good, trusted, beautiful relationship, because it's a long relationship as well, isn't it? And it's an intimate relationship, because you're often going to be sharing your private space with this person. And so feeling like that person's manager gets it, gets you, and really, really is interested in who you are. Because how can you support someone you don't understand and don't know anything about? So if you feel like those first conversations get you to a point where you think, yeah, this person is really starting to understand me and what I'm after and what I don't want as well, right? That's really important. Then that you're onto the right track.
Makes a lot of sense. And um, if you're going to be funded by KCC,
Yeah.
um, what what can you kind of realistically be hoping for in that kind of context?
You still have a right to a good care package, right? You still have a right to build a relationship with someone you trust. There just might be some more practical limitations to that introductory phase. It might be that rather than you scouring all possibilities of providers in Kent, you are given a short list of potential organisations that could support. But you still get to ask the same questions. You still get a sense of choice, and if you're not comfortable, you still have a right to speak up about that. And so you can expect, for regardless of whether you're sort of shopping privately or the state is supporting you, you can expect a person in a senior position to come and meet with you, ideally in person, after that first initial phone call, to arrange the visit and ask you a few questions and get to know you a little bit, and see what it is that you need support with. Of course, if that's come via a discharge package, which is often the way, especially
Discharge from hospital.
sorry, discharge from hospital. Yeah. So a very common situation one might find themselves in is there's been a fall, and mobility is severely impacted. So for a short period of time, you're not able to do the same things as you were around the house. And there might be a sort of rehabilitation care package put in place that is usually funded for up to 12 weeks. But if things have sort of more significantly shifted in terms of your physical health needs, that can be reassessed over time, and then a light touch care package put in place as a continuation of that. And often it can be the same team that has been doing the rehab care, but often it might not be either. And
Because the NHS is not continuing to fund that after the.
precisely,
Yeah.
yeah. So it depends how much money is available and whether the organisation that has stepped in the interim is prepared to take that ongoing care package on. It might be that if you've needed sort of several hours on an almost daily basis, and now that's dropping to just a few hours on a week, that's no longer viable for that organisation. And yeah, and also things like geography and come into play. So Kent's quite an interesting mix of real rural areas that are sparsely catered for, and your obvious more dense urban areas, and according to that is sort of socioeconomic perspective as well. There's more affluent areas and there's areas that are struggling a little bit more, and providers sort of sit within that accordingly.
So you might be in a situation where your mum and dad been discharged from hospital, you've got a package in place, but either the provider's not willing to continue, or you're not particularly delighted with what the provider's got in place.
Yes.
Would you be kind of recommending a conversation with another provider, kind of to put something in place? Because I think a lot of people will kind of have that support, then go back to normal, with kind of nothing there. And I suspect you might think that a kind of transitional approach would be.
My approach is always, the more support you can get the earlier on, the better, because you avoid crises from happening.